what's your thought on the market's optimism, should I say, for the banking stocks? We see them rallying over the last few weeks. Do you share that optimism that obviously some investors have right now?
I think there's some plus and minus points. I think the plus points is that you can see NPLs, especially the margin loans, being taken off the bank's balance sheets by AMCON. AMCON saying they're going to hold on to them, which is good for the market. I think the minus points is that as you see the share price rises, there's less likely for shareholders to agree some of the M&A activity that might be happening in the rescued banks, because as far as they're concerned, the value of their banks are going up as the share prices are, as the price of their shares are going up. So there might be some difficulty in that regard.
No, but you're saying because share prices are going up, it might create some challenges? I don't understand that.
There's some challenges in the way, in the sense that the valuation of those banks, the market valuation of those banks is going up as the share prices are going up. Now, in the discussions between the CBN, new potential strategic investors and existing shareholders, the valuation existing shareholders might put in the banks will might be higher because the market capitalization of those banks has gone up.
I see your point. Because they've made some assumptions now. If the market moves these stocks up another 30%, they may have to come back on and negotiate terms. Okay, exactly. Good point there. But do you share the optimism about the impact of AMCON on the earnings of the banks? Because there is a view that with the 60% premium that that AMCON is willing to pay for the margin loans collateral, obviously some banks are going to report some stellar Q4 numbers.
I think it draws a line there. I think a lot of the banks should have provided for those loans already over the years, so they will get some of those back. So I think that Q4 numbers, especially if it's done before the end of this year, will be quite impressive, especially for the rescued banks, because a sizable amount of the margin lending were in the rescued banks. All
right, let's move to the cement sector now, and of course we've seen a flurry of earnings releases. CCNN reported Q2 numbers recently. We saw PBT down 40%. I think it's reflecting some pressure there in the north because they are situated there. What did you make of those numbers?
I think there are really two main factors in cement production in Nigeria. I think there's power, which is about 40% of their costs, and also transportation. There are very poor transport links between the north and southern Nigeria. I mean, the government is looking at resuscitating the railways. Until that's done, most of the cement companies in the north will tend to cater for the northern area, and the biggest market in the northern area is really Abuja. Now, what we're probably seeing is that Cement Company of Nigeria and Ashaka Cement, because of northern base, used to serve that market. But Abaya Cement ramping up under Dangote Cement and being very close to Abuja and be able to serve the northern sector, I think you'll see more competition in that.
All right, and of course, Ashaka, now they reported higher PBT numbers, but I was looking at some analyst reports. I think people were disappointed with those numbers. It seems they are feeling some pressure from Dangote Cement.
I think they're feeling pressure. I think there's also power. I mean, in terms of Dangote Cement, gas makes a big difference to cement. And the factories are Lafarge, Dangote, that have direct access to gas pipelines and receiving gas. Their energy costs are a lot lower. Up in the north, there are very few gas pipelines that lead all the way to the north. So they rely on LPFO or diesel, and that raises the costs of production. And so until that can be addressed, they're always going to be unfavorable compared to some of the factories based down south.
Well, one cement maker that's obviously using gas is Lafarge Wapco. Their numbers were slightly higher, but they are, of course, obviously feeling the pressure of the expansion project, aren't they?
Yes, they're going on a big expansion project, which they're funding at the moment. I think the growth the expected growth in the cement sector is expected to continue. But as Dangote Cement has a very aggressive expansion plan, I think it will put pressure on a lot of the other cement factories.
Okay, and as we close, I know you're not big on Dangote Cement. You always think it's overvalued. But in this cement space, which stock are you interested in? Which one do you like?
Dangote Cement, I think, is overvalued. I think coming out 135 naira, and the assumptions they made, and the fact that their Q3 figures missed some of the assumptions in the merger document shows that those are very aggressive. You cannot get, in the present Nigerian market, you cannot get 90% capacity utilization. It's never happened, and it's going to be very hard for it to happen, especially with renewed agitation, apparently, in the Niger Delta. I think the cement factory looking at Lafarge. I think Lafarge, as they get their new production online, they can get gas coming through, and I think they will do quite well.
But that's more of a medium to long-term play, isn't it?
Exactly.